What's happening, guys, and welcome to Love for Conspiracy. I'm Scott, and this is going to be a little video just showing and showcasing what I'm basically going to be digging into and talking about for quite possibly the next 12 months and beyond on this channel. The content may not come that often at first, but as we go through it, we will release more and more over time. I'm going to begin with the conspiracy of my own and many other people that were just lied to about the construction and the capabilities of human construction and ancient civilizations being a lot more capable of what we're being told. Sites like Gobekli Tepe in Turkey are seemingly just ignored. Even on Wikipedia pages, I mean, look, say what you want about the credibility of Wikipedia, but we all know there's a lot of truth there, and when it's linking other things, it's linking pictures. That is the information the mainstream's giving us. This is what we're talking about. Wikipedia is one side of mainstream. So I'm going to go straight to a page here and just jump straight into it. This video could be 10 minutes long, it could be 20 minutes long, it might end up an hour. I've got no idea yet. I've just got some tabs open, I want to get through a little bit of stuff. So I'm going to start with the history of construction. We come to the Wikipedia page. So basically you have a Neolithic construction. Neolithic age, also known as the New Stone Age, was a time period roughly from 9000 BC to 5000 BC. That's when they're using stuff like bone, antler, hide, stone, wood, grasses, blah blah. And it's saying one of the most iconic megalithic structures from this time is known as Stonehenge. So again, like 5,000, 7,000 years old, give or take who you believe. Some say only 3,000. But the main thing I want to point out is these are the weapons, the tools, whatever you want to call them. Various bone tools from China, a sickle harvesting crops for factoring, Neolithic stone axe with a wooden handle, a sledge for moving heavy materials, moving 50-ton stone rocks on that sled. Because that's what was built in them times. We keep coming down, we enter the Copper Age and a Bronze Age where they're mixing metals, they start a bit of chemistry. And we come to ancient Egypt. So basically, this is the pinnacle of our construction really. This is where it started. We started being able to construct massive monuments and complexes like this. Egyptologists seem to now want to ignore the fact that there's weathering at the side of the Sphinx suggests it's around 12,000 years old. They seem to want to ignore the fact that Gobekli Tepe is around 12,000 years old. At the surface, it's layered. It was also, very interestingly, buried on purpose. Very interesting. When you're going to build megalithic structures and sites, why would you then hide it? Unless you wanted to preserve it, because what you had last time maybe didn't get preserved. We'll move on to that shortly. But Gobekli Tepe was discovered in Turkey. They've had layer dating already. They've unearthed the top of it, and the top, there's 50 times more of it still underground, basically. Purposely buried. But if we come to some Gobekli Tepe pictures, it's all extremely similar to what came later, just maybe not quite as advanced in certain areas. So we've got rock formations. There's one down here. That top right there. The top left, close-up relief on a latch from aboard Costa Rica. The top right, Gobekli Tepe. That's not just engraving in rock. That is a 3D fucking sculpture on the side of stone. And look at how straight it is around it. So they've made that stone that straight while leaving that sculpture on the side of it. You try to tell me they did it with that. We did it with them tools available. It does not make sense. They built that structure there. That is current Gobekli Tepe opened up aerial view. Some of the stones are huge. The weight of them is incredible, but they pulled them on them little sleds, a little wooden sled there. All them all them big stones got pulled. So already we've just doubled the time frame. So from possibly 5,000 years, we can just say, well, no, look, there's that thing there around the cursor. There it is. They've done that with bone tools. No, it's just that's not right. That is incredible to be able to do that 12,000 years ago. And look at how it's been buried purposely. They're unearthing all the stones around it, purposely buried. Now keep an eye on that stonage there, like compared to how incredible that one solid stone is in the middle and the structure we're looking at on the side of it, the sculpture. I don't even know what you'd exactly like. It is 3D sculpting on the side of rock. They've carved that rock from a bigger rock. So they made the rock smaller just so they could have that thing on the side of it. Instead of just engraving into it like other cultures used to do. And that I could stop now. That's incredible to me. Really, legitimately is. 12,000 years ago. But what we're going to do is make an even bigger jump now to the Bosnian pyramid claims of the claims of the Sun Pyramid. Apparently pseudo-archaeological bullshit. Pseudoscience, it's just pseudoscience. We're hearing that too much. Graham Hancock hears it too much. But these apparently, they took a little sample, they dug a bit up, and they unearthed a rock, and it had fossilised a leaf, which dating back 34,000 years. So he claims to have found fossilised leaves in them dating back 34,000 years. That hill there is not pseudo-archaeological nonsense explaining natural hills. Does this look natural? Not the tree and the forest that clearly took that area back, like what we've seen happen in the Amazon. Now, the Amazon don't seem to have a problem with it because it's within the 5,000 to 7,000 years. Makes sense. Oh, yeah, it's okay that because it's within what we want. No, that is not natural. The stonework and the foresters took it back. And we can go on. I don't want more details. These walls look extremely familiar when you consider what we looked at from Gobekli Tepe a minute ago, where it's all been built, it's all been filled in. Now, the way they filled that and built walls around that looks to be exactly the same as what we're seeing there with the Sun Pyramid of Bosnia. What's going on? Why is this not main? Why is that not mainstream? Just like the pyramids are. So these are the samples they've dug in here to get samples of the clear structure they saw from orbital scans and 3D scans and geological and all the rest of the nonsense. So this is what I'm saying, over the next 12 months I'm going to be learning and educating myself on this, so we can question it a little bit more, because I think it needs questioning when you consider that mainstream science just won't agree with it. The big question for me is the history of humans. They're saying it could date back millions of years and to either 200,000 years, and the living as hunter-gatherers and they're working with stone. But we're then led to believe that all that time passes and then all of a sudden, within 10,000 years, they just gain all this knowledge. I mean, you could go to Roswell in the 50s and how we just gained all this knowledge for LCD screens, and that does that just happen every now and then with human evolution? And we just, boom, and we get there, and then it just accelerates, and then levels off for a few more thousand years, and then boom, something else, and then accelerates, and then levels off. They clearly was able to build stuff further back than we're led to believe. The Younger Dryas area, Younger Dryas era, with a meltwater. If you know about the meltwater pulses, between 10,000 and 15,000 years ago, there was two massive meltwater pulses. That's where the ice caps and the glaciers have melted and the seawater rose. So basically, the rate of sea level change is at the top. Insulation, whatever that is, I don't understand that. As I say, I'm going to be looking into it all, so we will eventually. And we can clearly make out what the graph means. There's been two massive pulses of water that's melted. Now, if you watch a little bit of Graham Hancock, he believes there was an ancient civilization that could build pyramids like we see in Bosnia, or that could build megalithic structures like we see in Turkey. But a lot of their civilization was wiped out 12,000 years ago in a massive flood. Interesting, right? Considering the Bible and a hell of a lot of religions talk about a flood at that time. It's extremely interesting. What Graham Hancock believes is they went to Gobekli Tepe after losing a lot of their technology and a lot of the mines, and they built there to preserve technology. And it is quite interesting that for the Sun Pyramid of Bosnia is there on the map in Europe, and then Gobekli Tepe is just down there in that area, around here somewhere, I don't know exactly where. And then not that further you've got the pyramids. It's all a bit close, but the timeline's not close. You've got 30,000 year structures in Bosnia, 12,000 year structures Turkey, 5 to 7,000 year structures in Egypt, save for the Sphinx, 12,000 years. Now, if people know about these structures and where they're built on hot spots of electromagnetic energy, basically, the magnetic influxes of the world. When you see that little picture of the Earth and it's all magnetic fields coming out at the top and back in at the bottom, well, they're like massive magnetic fields that stretch out into space. We still have smaller ones that remain in the atmosphere. I mean, if you want to go comic geek, it's how Superman flies, pings himself with his bioelectric aura. So they knew about them thousands of years ago and built structures on them. Stonehenge is on one, Gobekli Tepe is on one, the pyramids on one, all the way over the other side. There's something. Where's that? I need to find that. Right, I found it. Two ancient sacred centres. Thing called the Earth's diameter. Encode the Earth's diameter, sorry. So basically, I know a lot of people don't like all this math stuff when they're throwing out formulas and these numbers. A lot of people say about the pyramids, oh, it's just a coincidence. Well, it's just a coincidence that it's true north to a ridiculous degree. It's just a coincidence that all the measurements match like these random numbers that are just universal mathematics. It just all coincide with each other. That's not coincidence. It's a coincidence. No, it's knowledge. It was knowing that. Did they know they was doing this? So from all the sites across the world that they've got all the little mad lines between them, this one is just as interesting. Hugh Newman made a discovery last night, 13th of April 2014. The surface distance from Gobekli Tepe, the name means Belly Naval Hill, to the sacred centre of Coricancha in Cuzco, Peru. I don't know if I just butchered that, but Coricancha in Cuzco, Peru. It also means naval centre. So you've got the belly naval hill and the naval centre. It's the exact same distance as the equatorial diameter of the Earth, 7,928 miles. It is probably the diameter from the latitude these sites sit at too. The canonical number is 7920. So go on here now about the number 7920, expressed as 8 times 9 times 10 times 11 miles, and you get that miles, find it mind. But this guy, I mean, they've known that 12,000 years ago, or was it just coincidence? Was it just coincidence? Something happened where they was about to lose the way they constructed stuff, and there's no evidence. Graham Hancock has been absolutely ridiculed for years as pseudoscience. It's pseudoscience. It's all flood bullshit. Well, excuse me. Well, haters, explain this. They've discovered a crater in Greenland that just happens to be in almost a perfect spot to support Graham's theories and other people's theories. So did a comet collide with the Earth 13,000 years ago, just as the world was emerging from the last ice age, sending it back into a 1,000-year-long period of freezing temperatures and darkness? So 19 miles wide, and it's beneath the glacier. They flew over the glacier, as you can see the plane doing in that little graphic there. It's flying over and it's slamming some radar down, and it's viewing it, mate. And it's revealed there's an absolute monstrous crater down there. So big, in fact, they say you would have to go back millions of years to find one as big. I think it's 40 million years. Don't hold me to it, we'll see in a minute. Huge impact crater has been discovered under a half-mile thick Greenland ice sheet. The enormous bowl-shaped dent appears as the result of a mile-wide iron meteorite slamming into the island at a speed of 12 miles per second as recently as 12,000 years ago. What a surprise! The impact of the 10 billion ton space rock would have unleashed 47 million times the energy of the Little Boy nuclear bomb dropped on Hiroshima in 1945. It would have melted vast amounts of ice, sending fresh water rushing into the oceans and blasted rocky debris high into the atmosphere. Wow. Wow. At 19.3 miles wide, the crater ranks among the 25 largest known on Earth and is the first to be found beneath an ice sheet. You have to go back, there we go, 40 million years to find a crater of the same size. So this is a rare occurrence in Earth's history. This don't happen every millennia. It just doesn't. The evidence is there. It's becoming overwhelming, and mainstream science continue to ignore it. We could have had extremely advanced civilizations. Not advanced that we are playing Xbox and PS. Not that advanced. I'm talking so advanced. They had the ability to leave the planet but didn't want to. Didn't feel the need to. There's people who believe that the frequency coming from the pyramid when it was active, and there was water rushing through it and there was water going under it to boost the electric charge and the electromagnetic effect. The frequency then resonating from the pyramid kept people at peace and kept them calm and brought emotional prosperity and stuff we can't even imagine at the moment when we consider what we take in from mainstream shit that can't even agree when these things were built. So, or if it even happened, they all just denied it, but now there's a crater. There's a crater, mate, so what? Graham Hancock's just sat there now. Come at me, bro. Come at me. I'm going to drop a link in the description of a really good video where he's on. I forget the guy's name. I think he's called Randall Summit. Really intelligent guy who knows a lot about this ice and comic stuff. And then Graham knows more about the archaeological and the temples and stuff like that. When you bring these two guys together, you get awesome information, basically. And just for a little cherry on the top, They throw a skeptic in the room who just blows it all out the water, and they have a crazy, epic debate. Tensions run high. People make apologies. It is epic. It's in the description. Basically, running towards the end of this now. But yeah, this is me for the next 12 months. Anyone who's followed us over from the Love for Crypto channel, much appreciate you being here, giving us a chance to show you that we're not just about crypto. We're going to expand into other things we have love for. I can't wait to get my head into this. I'm going to go on a little bit of a journey. I'm going to visit Stonehenge. There's a shamanic cave that's believed to be 30,000 years old somewhere in Wales. I'm going to go and visit that. I will be going on a DMT trip because of the brain stuff, basically. The size of the human brain has grown an immense amount since the last 200,000 years, I believe it is. I believe that could have been them eating mushrooms. So we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, thanks for watching. As I say, if you come over from crypto, thanks for supporting us on that channel and this channel. Stand by for more content. Like I say, it might well be next year before there's another video on this channel now. I just wanted to give you something to get your teeth into. Let you know where my head is running into this for next year, because they're just lying about it. Egyptologists are lying. And we just need to hope that people in Turkey and the Turkish governments let them dig Gobekli Tepe up, and the Bosnian governments let them dig the Sun Pyramid up, and we have finally get some answers off some people who want to give us answers. In the meantime, we'll keep digging, we'll keep sharing our opinion. This was not the opinion of anyone else but mine in this video. Guys, stay safe, take care, have a good Christmas, and I will see you soon.